Ever walked into a room and felt every pair of eyes slowly gravitate toward you without uttering a single word? Is that strange magnetic pull. You weren't the loudest. You weren't even trying. Yet, you felt it. Her glance lingered. Just half a second too long. Someone shifted in their seat when you walked past. And inside you wondered, wait, why is this happening? You probably assumed it was luck. Or maybe your outfit. But here's the truth. You're signaling something far deeper without even realizing it. And once you understand it, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. Comment the last time you felt this silent pull from others. Stick around till the end, because reason number 5 is the psychological trigger that almost no man realizes. He's sending. You walk into a coffee shop. No agenda, no attention-seeking outfit, no loud entrance. Just you. And yet, something shifts. A girl 3 tables down stops mid-sip. Her eyes lift, just for a second, then dart away like she didn't mean to. The barista, halfway through her sentence with the guy in front of you, glances over almost instinctively. A guy by the window leans slightly, like your presence moved the air itself. You didn't say a word. But you were felt. Was it your posture? Your walk? Maybe. But it's more than that. There's an invisible current, a low-frequency signal you're giving off. And here's the kicker. You don't even have to try to send it. You already do. Most men are so trapped in their heads, trying to figure out how to appear confident, that they miss the one thing confidence actually does. It moves people without explanation. You ever notice how some guys enter a room and things just reorient around them? Chairs creak as people adjust. Conversations slow down for half a beat. Women glance, then pretend they didn't. It's not because he's a celebrity. It's because his presence speaks first. Before his mouth even opens, there's a man mark. Nothing flashy. Plain t-shirt. Hands in pockets. He walks into that coffee shop like he's not trying to escape himself. Like he belongs. He's not. Searching. He's grounded. And without realizing it, everyone else leans slightly toward him. Not physically. Not obviously. But subtly. The way people lean toward a fire without even knowing they're cold. You think you're invisible? Watch. What happens when you stop trying to hide? That energy you carry, when it's not clouded by self-doubt, when it's not screaming for validation, becomes magnetic. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just undeniable dot. So, here's something simple. Next time you enter a room, slow down your pace. By just 10%. Don't rush to get in or out. Just walk. Like the room already expected you. You'll be shocked at what shifts around you. Most guys won't catch it. But you will now. There's a party. Loud music. Too many people in one house. Red cups in every hand. Guys trying to be funny. Girls half listening, glancing around, scanning the room for something more interesting. And in the middle of it all, there's one guy. Not dancing. Not talking over anyone. Not making a scene. He's just still, calm, present. And suddenly, he stands out more than anyone else there. That guy is Alex. He's not stiff. He's not awkward. He's composed. While others fill the silence with nervous chatter, he lets silence breathe. While the crowd drinks faster to loosen up, he sips slow. When someone speaks to him, he pauses before responding like he's actually thinking. It's subtle. But it's powerful. Because in a world addicted to speed and noise, stillness is provocative. Here's what most men miss. Movement isn't always confidence. Sometimes it's escape. Fidgeting, shifting weight, checking your phone, laughing too quickly. These are unconscious ways to say, please like me. Please don't look too closely. But stillness? That says, I'm already okay. Think about this. A woman sees 2 men across the room. One is constantly moving, eyes darting, bouncing from conversation to conversation. The other Alex is still, not frozen, just grounded, his shoulders relaxed, eyes calm, breath steady. Who feels safer? Who feels stronger? Stillness creates weight. Emotional gravity is the difference between a leaf blowing in the wind and a tree that bends but never breaks. She moved fast to hide anxiety. He stays still to command presence. And here's the psychological twist: people mirror what they want to match. So when you're still, others slow down too. They lean in, they soften, they want to feel what you're feeling. And they wonder, what is it about this guy that makes me want to linger? You don't need louder words. You need quieter power. Power that doesn't need to prove itself. So try this. Next time you feel the urge to speak quickly, don't. Count to 3 in your mind. Let the pause stretch. Let the silence hang. Just long enough to be felt. You'll see something strange happen. People will lean in, not away. They'll listen, not just hear. And you'll finally realize how loud stillness really is. You're mid-conversation. She says something flirty, maybe teasing. Most guys would laugh a little too hard or fire something back quickly. Anything to keep momentum. But you pause. You give her a half smile, just the edge of your mouth curling. No big reaction, no applause. And in that moment, something flips. She tilts her head slightly, her eyes narrow. She wants to know more. Daniel gets this instinctively. He doesn't perform. He doesn't show all his cards. His reactions are deliberate, measured, controlled. And because of that, people work harder to pull more from him. Especially women. They start adjusting themselves, laughing more, getting closer, over-explaining their jokes, just to earn something. As small as a real smile. You see, most men are addicted to expression. Over-laughing, over-nodding, over-explaining. We want to be understood so badly. We empty ourselves in the first 5 minutes. But restrained expression? That's mystery. That's tension. That's a story she wants to keep reading. Facial cues are signals. And subtle ones are more powerful because they require interpretation. A full smile says, I'm happy. A smirk says, figure me out. One is safe. The other is magnetic. And here's the emotional contrast most guys miss. When you're expressive too soon, you relieve the tension. You give her certainty. But when you're slightly unreadable, not cold, just intentional, you create space for her curiosity to expand on. Now, this isn't about being robotic or fake. It's about choosing your reactions instead of leaking them. Daniel hears something funny, but instead of laughing right away, he lets the smile build slowly. Eyes soften. Then maybe, just maybe, he gives her a real chuckle. And when he does, it lands harder than any punchline. So next time she teases you, don't rush to respond. Don't give her everything. Instead, respond with a slow, knowing smile. Then say nothing. Let her wonder. Let her lean in. Let her work a little. She'll remember that pause. She'll remember you. You're not cold. You're composed. You're not distant. You're deliberate. And most men chase reactions. But you'll make them chase yours. Picture this. You're at a casual get-together. People chatting, laughter bouncing off the walls. You're mid-conversation with a girl, nothing serious, just light banter. And then, without thinking, you lean back slightly in your chair. Not much, just enough to create space, to pull back your energy. And almost instantly, she leans in. Chris knows this game well. He's mastered the invisible dance of body angles. It's not about looming over people or taking up space aggressively. It's about inviting them toward you without words. He'll tilt his body slightly, away mid-conversation, just enough to suggest, I'm not fully here yet. And every time they follow, here's the hidden truth. People are drawn to what's retreating, not what's chasing. Leaning in too much too soon feels desperate. But leaning back at the right moment? That's an unspoken dare. It whispers, "Come closer if you can." You've seen it before, you just didn't realize it. Watch closely next time you're at a bar or coffee shop. The guy who's chasing the conversation is often leaning in too much, eager, collapsing the space between him and the girl. But the guy who lets her close the gap, he's the one she keeps looking at. Subtle shifts. Small moves. Big impact dot, and it's not just about leaning back physically. It's about how you angle your body. Chris never squares up directly in the beginning. He angles just slightly off-center, signaling ease, comfort, and a lack of pressure. She feels free but curious, and when she's hooked, he slowly realigns toward her, drawing her in without her even noticing. Psychologically, this taps into something primal. Movement towards signals interest. Movement away sparks pursuit. It's how tension is built not through words, but through space. Most guys rush to close that space because they fear losing the moment. You want any more? Next time you're in a conversation, play with this. Lean back just a little. Angle your body slightly away when you speak, and then watch who adjusts their body to match yours. Who leans in, even if they don't realize it? That's your cue. You're not pushing anyone away. You're inviting them silently. You're shifting from the chaser to the prize. And when you do it right, they won't even know why they're drawn to you. But they will be. Imagine a man sitting alone in a dimly lit room, eyes focused, hands moving with precision. He's writing, or maybe sketching plans for something he cares about deeply. Time seems to disappear around him. He's not checking his phone. He's, not worried about what anyone thinks. He's absorbed fully, completely. And here's what's wild. Even though no one else is there, his presence is growing. That's Ethan. He's not flashy. He doesn't announce his goals. But he radiates purpose. And that is a force no one can ignore. Here's a hard truth. Most guys think standing out requires noise. Flashy clothes, loud opinions, constant self-promotion. But the guys who really stand out? They're the ones too busy building something meaningful to explain themselves. Women can feel this. People can sense it. There's something undeniably attractive about a man who's going somewhere. A man with a direction, a mission, a quiet obsession. His life isn't centered around others' approval. It's built on his own compass. And this isn't just theory. It's psychology. Purpose creates emotional gravity. It makes everything else, small talk, validation, even flirtation, secondary. And when you make something secondary, it often becomes effortless. Look at Ethan again. He doesn't try to dominate conversations. He's not competing for attention. He's simply aligned with something bigger than himself. And that focus leaks into every interaction. He listens differently. He speaks only when it adds value. He moves through life with an internal rhythm that others can't help but notice. Women pick up on it instantly. They'll say things like, "He seems so focused," or "There's something different about him." They don't always know what it is, but they feel it. Because purpose isn't something you say. It's something you live. Now, here's where it gets practical. Purpose doesn't have to mean you're running a billion-dollar startup or climbing Mount Everest. It simply means you have something in your life that matters deeply to you, something you're consistently moving toward. And when you have that, everything else shifts. Your interactions become smoother because you're not desperate for approval. Your body language changes because you're not seeking validation. Your energy becomes magnetic because you're not distracted by trivial things. Your purpose speaks louder than your voice ever could. So here's your challenge. Spend just 10 minutes today reconnecting with your biggest personal goal. Write it down. Sit with it. Visualize it. And the next time you walk into a room, walk in as the man who's already on that mission. Watch what happens. You'll realize you don't need to announce your purpose. It announces itself. It starts in the mirror. Early morning. You're groggy, face half lit by weak sunlight. You glance at yourself, adjusting your collar, fixing your hair. Most days, you don't even look yourself in the eyes. You just go through the motions, hoping the day doesn't swallow you whole. But today you pause. You lock eyes with your own reflection. And something inside you shifts. Liam discovered this secret without anyone teaching him. He didn't stumble on it in some self-help book or YouTube tutorial. It came from a single moment standing in front of the mirror, asking himself one quiet question. How would the most magnetic version of me walk today? And just like that, everything changed. Here's what most men miss. Attraction isn't just about external signals. It's a loop. A cycle. It begins with how you see yourself. That perception shapes your actions, which then shape how others respond to you. And when they respond with interest or respect, your self-image grows stronger. That's the power loop. But here's the trick. You don't wait for others to start it. You begin it yourself. You decide, in your mind first, that you are magnetic, that you do carry weight, that you are the guy people notice. Liam starts every day the same way now. He adjusts his posture, squares his shoulders, meets his own gaze in the mirror, not with arrogance, but with certainty. And he doesn't leave his apartment until he feels that energy sink in. And you know what happens? He walks differently, slower, smoother. People feel it before he says a word. Women glance at him on the street. Men move aside as he passes. He doesn't force it. It just unfolds. Because here's the truth. When you start seeing yourself as magnetic, others have no choice but to follow. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is about choosing your energy deliberately, creating it from within and letting it loop outward. You've always had it. You just needed to see it first. So tomorrow morning, stand in front of that mirror. Look yourself dead in the eyes. And ask, how would the most magnetic version of me walk today? Then walk that way. Watch how your day bends to meet you. There's this guy, Nathan. Totally ordinary at first glance. Average height, regular job, nothing that screams alpha. Or special. But something changed in him. He wasn't always magnetic. In fact, not long ago, he blended into the background, ignored at parties, overlooked in conversations, ghosted by women he tried to connect with. He was invisible, until one night, something inside him snapped. He got tired of chasing, tired of trying to force people to notice him. And instead of playing the same desperate game, he decided to do something different. He started applying everything you just learned. It began with the way he entered rooms. No more rushing in, no more darting eyes. He slowed down, walking. With calm intention, shoulders back, gaze steady, steps quiet but confident. The moment he did, people felt it. Conversations paused as he walked by. Women's eyes traced his movements, even if just for a second. Then came stillness. He stopped filling silences. He stopped nervously laughing at everything. He became comfortable in pauses, letting them stretch just long enough to pull others in. People began to hang on his words, not because he talked more, but because he talked less and with purpose. Facial expressions? Nathan mastered restraint. No more overreacting to every joke, no more needy smiles. He gave slow, deliberate smirks, subtle eyebrow raises, tiny shifts in expression that kept people guessing. Women leaned in, craving more of what he wasn't showing. Body language? He played with space, leaning back just slightly, letting others lean toward him, shifting angles to create magnetic tension. He stopped chasing energy. Instead, He made others work to earn his full attention. And then, the final piece: purpose. Nathan stopped revolving his life around dating, socializing, or fitting in. He locked in on his personal goals, his fitness, his craft, his passions. He became absorbed in something larger than himself. And suddenly, the world started orbiting him. It wasn't overnight. But it didn't take long either. Week by week, Nathan noticed how the dynamic shifted. Friends listened more closely. Strangers greeted him first. Women, many of whom once ignored him, now initiated conversations. They felt it, his invisible pull. And here's the most important part: he never faked any of it. He didn't need to. These signals weren't gimmicks. They were reflections of who he had become. From invisible to irresistible, not by pretending, but by unlocking what was always there. You don't need to fake anything either. You just need to unlock what's already inside you. You are already the man they've been waiting to notice. So here's your final challenge. Truly commit to practicing just one of these 5 signals today. Just one. Whether it's slowing your walk, embracing stillness, controlling your expressions, playing with body angles, or reconnecting with your purpose, pick one. Lean into it fully. Then watch. Watch how the world starts to lean toward you. Because here's the quiet truth no one tells you. Master just one of these, and you'll never be invisible again.